guys, Marmalade here for Q&A number 30. I hope everybody's doing well considering what's going on in the world and happy and healthy. And we'll get through this. So hopefully this is actually pleasurable distraction from your everyday stuff and we can learn something together. So let's get on with question number 1. All right, so question number 1 is from Rick Blevins Jr. I really wanted to know what you do with your backpack in restaurants, stores, and other places. Also when you're picked up from a hitch. What are the standard operating procedures? So very good question, and it's actually very, very important when you're literally living out of your backpack for 5 or 6 months, assuming you make it. So some of the protocol is, I'll give you an example. When I was in Ridgecrest, which is a 24-mile hitch from Walker Pass, so I'm getting in within 100 miles of Kennedy Meadows. I was in town and there was no sign saying you couldn't, so I just literally got a shopping cart. I had to get about, I don't know, 5 or 6 days worth of resupply. So I just went in and got a full-size shopping cart, put my backpack right in the middle of it, but I figured, hey, it's not on my back, they can see it, and I did my shopping, and nobody said a word. Although I probably stunk bad and my backpack was pretty filthy, but yeah, nobody said anything. Many restaurants say no backpacks allowed, so you just have to play it by ear. So what you do, how you get around this is, some of the restaurants, I would always try to sit by the window, get a table so I could see my pack if they make us sit them outside. But you want to never ever get them out of your sight. So when you go to a grocery store, a lot of them don't want your backpack in there. What we would do is take turns and have somebody watch them all on the outside while we shopped, and then we would reverse and watch theirs for them. So that's the way to get around it. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, every place, even within a town, is different. So you just have to be respectful and follow the rules. The other answer to your question is, for hitches, it can be very sketchy, but you never want to be separated from your pack. So there has been stories of people maybe getting in a big truck and they throw their pack in the back, and before they can get in the front, they're gone. So what you're supposed to do, and honestly I was lazy about this, I would say half the time I forgot, half the time I was just lazy, but you want to open your pack up. Mine happens to be in a pouch in the center compartment of my backpack. It's actually strapped in inside there by clips, and it's got a zipper, and I keep my my ID, my money, my debit and credit cards, my permits, and if you have like a passport, that too. But you want to grab all that. I have one wallet that holds it all, so it's easy. But honestly, part of the time I just forgot. People seem cool, but that's the kind of probably some of the people that would actually rob you. And then other time I was just lazy. It was just gonna, they're sitting there waiting and to give me a ride, and other hikers are getting in, and I don't want to take the time to stop everybody and dig out my stuff out of my pack. So the main thing is you want to be separate. If you're in the front cab, try to have the pack in your eyesight or next to you, and the same in the back of the truck. So I would say half the time I rode in a car, half the time I was in the back of a truck. So yeah, those are your answers. All right, our next question is from Felipe Ricketts. He asked me, how do you know how much gas is left in your canisters? Do you take a couple canisters so you know you won't run out? I don't know. There's ways of, I've actually re-educated myself before I answer this question. There's 2 ways. You can go on YouTube and just watch videos on it. One way is pure weight. So you can weigh a brand new can, and then let's say you've used it some, you can re-weigh it again and you can see whether it's like maybe half the weight's gone, about half of it's left. And if you've used it 5 days and well, shoot, I got 5 more days, things like that. You can also float it in water, but it's more complex. And when you're on the trail, you can't do stuff like that. I do it purely by weight. So kind of roughly after you've handled enough, I use the smallest canister. There's a 4, 8, and I think 16-ounce canister that the backpackers use. The 4 is the most common, the smallest one. It fits inside my titanium pot. But I can just kind of tell by weight. You can kind of shake it here a little bit, but not really. It's just mostly by weight. And if it feels really light, it's just about done. I think I only ran out one time and I had a day to go. And it's not going to kill you if you eat food not cooked. So, unless you're going on a 20-day stretch and you run out with 15 days to go, then you kind of suffer, but you're still not going to die. But yeah, the one time I ran out, I had 1 day to go. So I think I just ate my, forgot what I had, rice or something. I just ate it cold. So that's how you tell. You can carry extra canisters. I'm supposed to start June 20th at Kennedy Meadows and go north, and I'll be right into the Sierras. And the first stretch is like, depending on how many miles you average, 8 to 10 days. If you're slower, it's 10 days with Mount Whitney in there. And I'll have to carry a lot of food. And so I may carry a larger canister, just depending on how available they are in the towns. So yeah, that's how you know. It's mostly either by weight or by, you can float it in the water and show a water line. It's hard to describe it. You can see it on REI's video on YouTube though. All right, next question is from Washington Mike. When hiking, I tend to get really warm. How do you manage your layering and stay comfortable once you've stopped and begun to cool down? If you get sweaty, do you swap out clothing to dry stuff? Mike, that's a good question. I'm gonna look at my archive, see if I can show you what my layering system is. But basically, if you guys watch me on my thru hike, I wear a synthetic shirt. The one I had on the trail said the heavy hikers, but it's synthetic like this. I have now that orange outdoor research. I'm trying to think of the Echo hoodie. It weighs nothing. It has SPF for the sun. Has a hood, keeps my head warm in the morning when it's cold. It's super light and thin, but it just takes the edge off in the morning. Then my third layer is, I did have a down puffy. Now I have that Enlightened Equipment Torrid Apex jacket. It's synthetic. Super warm, warmer than my down jacket, but it can handle being wet and stay warm. And then I have the new UL rain jacket by Frog Talk. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when you're out there, I mean, you're not going to see much more than 32 degrees, so it's plenty warm for all that. I have a pair of Outdoor Research rain pants. Because I run hot, I wear a lot less. If you ever noticed, there's people that have sweaters on. I have just my t-shirt on, and I'm hiking. That's the way I run. But no, you're right. I mean, there's days on trail, and I don't have an answer for you, because there's days on trail that it's the layer game, and it's frustrating as all get out, because it's cloudy, it's cold, it's raining, it's sunny, it's hot, it's cold, it's windy, and you're also, remember, you're hiking up and down mountains, so you get on the back side of a mountain. This happens a lot, and there's no wind, and it gets hot. And then you get on the other side, and it's really not very cold out, but the wind is freezing you. Then it rains on you, and then and you get a high altitude, and the temperature drops. So all that changes. There's days when you literally, I've just had to have like almost all my outerwear on the top of my pack, so I can just stop and I have to take my pack off, put it on, and literally you go a half mile more, like 10 minutes, you got to take it all off or add it all on. So there's no way. I think the main thing is just to make sure that you have enough layering to not get hypothermia. But it's all personal. So I know when I sit down and I start to cool down, I'll throw on a layer, and that's really it for me. Okay, our last question is from David E. How's your experiment with normal socks and no gaiters going? What's interesting is it's been going really well so far, but to clarify, I have the Ultra Lone Peak 4.0s right now, the shoes. Through my thru hike, and how I've always hiked for years, is Injinji thin toe liner socks that have the material on each toe, which helps you not get a blister. Then my Darn Toughs over those, and then once I put them in my shoes, then I put gaiters, to protect the laces and keep sticks and rocks from getting in my shoe. That's been my style ever since I started, because everybody I hiked with did that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with what I'm doing, but I'm still testing it out. The problem is, because of me going through the arthritis or whatever I'm going through, and the pain, I'm still a strong hiker, but and I'm not in the hiking shape I was on my thru hike. I haven't done like 20-mile days or even 15-mile days over and over again with just the sock system I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is just literally no gaiters, no toe liners, just literally a pair of Darn Toughs and my Ultras. And I'm trying to train my feet. Every once in a while you'll get a stick or a rock in your shoe, but it really doesn't happen much. And what I'm trying to do is, the toe liners are a pain in the butt, because I'd get to, when we're hiking and it was hot, I'd get to a creek and everybody would cool their feet off in the river, and I had gaiters and Darn Toughs and toe liner socks on my shoes, and I want to take that all off and then try to get them back all on. And so I would just sit there, and I never really got the benefit of cooling my feet off or whatever. Also, it's a pain in the butt in the mornings when you wake up and you're stiff and it's cold out and you want to get going, and your socks are all crumpled in balls there, and they're filthy because you're on the thru hike. But like, it takes forever to get your toe socks on. The liners, they work amazing, and I may have to go to them because I never got a blister, but they're just a pain to put on, and as they wear out and get tears, it even gets more difficult. So I'm trying to train my feet, as he asked, to just purely have Darn Tough socks and my shoes. So far it's good, but I've hiked 3 miles to, I think the most day I had is 17. So and still I've not had a blister or a problem yet, knock on wood. So we'll see, but it's an experiment. I have 2 brand new pair of Injinji toe liners if I have to add them to my arsenal. So I'll just go back to that if it doesn't work. But right now, Dave, it's been working pretty well. All right, guys, that does it for Q&A number 30. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought those were great questions. Please bring it on. More questions, especially you guys who are stuck at home. So, hey, you want to know some things, or even if you know the answer but you think other people might want to know, ask me the question so we can educate and help other people. But I've been getting some really good questions lately, so I appreciate it. I don't mention this much, but please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell in the upper right corner. That'll notify you every time I post a new video. I am getting ready to post 2 other videos. One is the day hike I did yesterday. It's actually coming out beautiful. And by the way, I'm using my new iPhone 11 Pro, so let me know how this video looks, if you think it looks any clearer, different, or the same, better, or worse, whatever. And I filmed with it yesterday on my day hike, and the pictures in the video are coming out amazing. So let me know when you see that, if you watch it, what you think. Also, I've been nominated to do the luxury challenge video, which is just listing 3 or 4 of your luxury items you bring when you backpack. So I've been nominated to do it, so I'm going to be doing that video too, so look for that. It's just kind of a short, fun one. There won't be too many surprises in that one, but I get to do it since I'm nominated, and I'll nominate 3 more people. Okay, and lastly, below I'll put my links to my merch and my Patreon pages. It's a way of supporting me in this channel and what I do. And as I've said before, every dollar will go towards gear or my savings to go and try to finish the remainder of the thru hike I started last year. Of course, depending on what goes on with the virus and all that, it could be postponed till next year. I mean, maybe I'm going to be flexible this year. I'm supposed to go June 20th, but maybe I go a little later from McKinney Meadows and head north through the Sierras, or maybe I flip and go south. I don't know. I'm just going to keep open this year, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Give me another year to prepare, but I'm hoping to finish it this year. But anyway, every dollar helps. It's much appreciated. But that's about it for now. Until next time, see you down the trail.